Minbron, I don't believe for a second that you're new. In fact, I don't believe it so much that I'm going to do this. Ready? Ready? Watch this. Ready?
He looked at the message beside his nose, and he didn't believe for a second.
You don't feel so good. What about me? Anyway, the ads are done, so we're ready to start. Whee! Okay, I gotta do the thing. Tells that one, push that one, and then put a thing here. There we go. Okay. So before we get started, I've got a lot of thanking to do. So let's roll right on through those real quick. So to start off with, thank you to Sukiku No for the follow. Similarly, thank you to... Wait for it. Takes a second for these things to roll through. Swordsman Studios. Appreciate it. We've also got one Dandelion Days, a centaur detective who has puns for days, unfortunately, and will destroy you with those puns. Don't try them. Trust me. We also have Mr. Mystery 117, who followed. Wait for it. I gotta wait for it. Werewolf Bride, also following. And finally, last but certainly not least, Heidi, who also followed. Appreciate all the follows. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoy your stay. Also, shout out to the people who gave me shout outs previously. Dandelion Days and Faust. Greatly appreciate it. And that was like 2 weeks ago. So I've been away for a minute. Now, as you can probably tell from the title of this stream, I was away at PAX West over in sunny Seattle. And I say sunny because somehow they always pick a weekend where it's not raining like crazy. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. So Seattle was lovely this time of year. I'm gonna turn down the music a wee bit. There we go. So Seattle was absolutely lovely this time of year, and I got some vacation photos to show you to prove it. Including some unreleased footage of games that shouldn't have been taken but are definitely sneaked out of the convention. Excellent. So first off, just like a little picture of the plane flying through. This is just something I picked up to set as my start picture for the slideshow I've got going on here. Don't mind that. It's nothing really. But I don't have hockey sent for that. Gotta do it by manual. Got it. All right. Also, I made a comment on Twitter about I might need to buy the airport popcorn water. That's because at the airport I stopped in at, they had like a crazy popcorn store called Nuts on Clark, which was that was O'Hare International Airport in Chicago, and they just had a popcorn place, and the popcorn water was like the cheapest option for a bottle of water there, and that was still $4, which fucking sucked. Buy water before you go, or rather buy a water bottle, empty it out, then refill it inside the airport, because we can't have nice things like water bottles that are filled. Anyway, I'm not here complaining about water. I'm here to show you a cool picture of, it's very hard to make out, but in there, that in the background is a cool aerial shot of Mount Rainier off in the distance. At least I'm pretty sure it's Mount Rainier. I'm not actually sure. I'm 90% sure it's Mount Rainier. Okay, let's just shrink this back down to size now. There we go. Anyway. Landed in Seattle, got myself some Jollibee. I can tell you it is probably the best fried chicken fast food I've had, but also, like, it's not like, oh my god, this changes everything. It's just better. Like, it's better than other fried chickens I've had. I just put it in there because I made a big deal about how good their spaghetti is. And it's crazy good, actually. Weirdly good. Like, if you get Jollibee, get the spaghetti. It's crazy. Anyway, I think next one is to start. Yeah. So next one is the start of PAX West in earnest. I actually lined up a little early on Thursday. Was it Thursday? Friday. I lined up early on Friday to actually get in, you know, as the show opened. They had this cool Magic Spider-Verse thing going on, which they were giving away these like really nice newspaper playmat things, which are actually super cool. I just didn't get in line for one. Someone else did that I went with, but I've kind of fallen off of Magic in recent years, so I wasn't like super in on that. Oh, there is also another video. No, I guess I can't show that one. A lot of these images have been edited or modified a little bit to remove people from them because I don't like showing the innocent. One of them I took was a video from Seattle Airport where I was riding in their self-driving shuttle thing, which was pretty neat. It kind of sucked because like it was very clearly like very early tester tech. They were using QR codes that were just kind of plastered on the walls to track, which got blocked by crowds of people constantly. But like it was a fun little experience, and I got to just take that over to the Seattle Light Rail, and I got to take that for the first time, which was also fun. By the way, the Seattle Light Rail, excellent service. Basically took me right into the city center, and that was like a 5-minute walk to my hotel from there. Probably the nicest little like city rail thing I've been on. Although I guess it's not really like a metro, so it's not quite comparable because I've been like in the New York City metro, I've been like the Tokyo metro. They're not as nice as that thing was, but also those are like major city constant route things. That one's just kind of like a weird, goes up and down the area. Anyway, I'm getting off track. First stop, most important stop at PAX is the Yogi-Bo booth. If there's not a Yogi-Bo booth at PAX, it is not a real PAX. That's how you know you're in a dream state. If you walk around the convention center and there's no Yogi-Bo, then you've fallen into some sort of Inception dream state. All right, first stop was this, the Junk Food Arcades booth that they had set up. And what they were showing off is this thing called the Swazzle. Now, let me show you this real quick. Just double check, good. So, I've got a camera set up. That's actually a table you're looking at right there. Now let's see if you can hear me from a distance. And also, where the hell did I put that thing? There it is. So, Junk Food Arcades makes fighting game pads, basically. Their big one is this. This is the snack box. Basically, it's a sort of mix box thing. It's very small, very compact, easy to travel with. And the basic gist is you have this side for movement, so left, down, right, and up, right there. Nice and clicky. And then this part here is your regular face buttons. The Swazzle, if you can see it here, is not that. It uses a WASD style format. It's got more buttons on the right side, which also are basically the regular face buttons, plus right bumper, right trigger, left trigger, and also L3, R3. And those little nubs down at the bottom are the left and right sticks. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm not 100% on that particular style of gamepad. But I have poor impulse control. And also, I decided I would give myself one stupid purchase for the trip. You can see where I'm going with this. I gotta get the plastic off first. Sorry, it's not the Swazzle, it's the Swirl. I don't know why I call it the Swazzle. It's not even close to the right name. There we go. Yep. Nope. Get out of there. Get out of there. All right, there we go. So that right there is the swirl I bought. Can I raise this camera up a little bit? Hold on, let me see if I can raise this camera up a little bit, because that's a little close. A little better. Okay, that's a little bit better. I just gotta move some of these controllers around. What can you see? You can see that anchor battery. You can see. What is that? That's the Tundra tracker. No, it's the. Is that this? Yeah, it was that. It's just my NT controller. That there, I suppose. I'll just leave the anchor battery right there. It's a good edge of the play area. Okay. So, there's my swirl that I picked up. Fancy box, fancy controller. Swirl Junk Food Arcades, designed in the USA, not a toy, age 13 plus, made in Vietnam. The big thing about this is that they say it's very configurable, and unfortunately, while it has the WASD button layout, which I'm not a big fan of, there is a possibility. There is a possibility they'll do the other style of layout, which is the one I actually like, in the future. They just made this one because it's more accessible, even if this box is a pain to open. There we go. Woo! Look at that. It comes with a case and everything. That's it. It's pretty... Basically, that's just packing case for it. This is really nice, though. It's like textured. Look at that. Welcome to the Swirl family. Here are some tips to help you familiarize your experience. Swirl customization app. There's keycaps, accessories, hot swap switches, custom artwork. Scan QR code to do stuff. Anyway, it's basically just like, oh yeah, there's the buttons on the back. Maybe I should move this a little bit so it's a little bit more correct. Better, I think. Anyway, that's the button layout. So you can see X, Y, A, B, R, B, L, B, R, T, L, T, the sticks. You got your buttons at the top that are your menu buttons, and then a WASD thing here. Little sticker. I don't know what to do with these things ever. It looks like over here we have a braided 90-degree cable. Very good. Need those things to be 90 degrees. And finally, we have our swirl. Let me just unpack this real quick. You can tell I'm not used to doing unboxings. I know. I didn't plan for this at all. Ah. Huh. There we go. Alright, so there's our swirl. We got a nice little surface here. It's plexiglass right there. I don't know how you can take that off. I feel like you must be able to take that off. Not a big fan of those buttons. Like, probably... They mentioned these are hot swappable, though, so you can get different switches in there. I probably want to get something like a cherry red or something, because I like... These are a little too mushy for me. I like things that are a little clickier. And over here... Yeah, these are a little... They're a little mushy. They're pretty springy, but they're a little mushy. I definitely would want to swap those out. Like, actually, I think... Pull this back out. Let me see here. It's a little bit better on this one. It's pretty comparable though. So I guess I'd probably just use the same switches. What? Anyway, that's really about it. Oh, it's also got those little things here, which are the thumbsticks. Just little balls that you can put your thumbs on. So basically, if you're doing motions... There we go. The basic idea is that if you're doing something like, just as an example, one of the things that is like, if you're playing Zangief in Street Fighter 6, you can do this as your main motions, and then if you want to do a big mix motion, because it's a pain in the ass to do this, you can just do that with your thumb. And that'll give you the circle motions that you need to do that. Like, this is better for a quarter circle or a half circle or something like that. But this, way better for churning butter. And the right stick is there too. Basically, this is more usable for more types of games than the other one is because it has 2 analog sticks that lets you do stuff. And on top of that, if you want to, you can also get a little strap and just hook it into these clips right here so you can carry it around sling style. And on the back, it's kind of got this nice little kind of foam. It's soft, pliable. A couple screws in there to open it up. Yeah, looks nice. There's the USB on top. Honestly, not a bad pickup. I like this. I like it. I probably won't use it more than the other thing for fighting games, but like, I can use it for stuff. Alright, anyway, that's first unboxing done. And the nice thing is really, ooh, I didn't even notice this. The case actually, here's the case. On the back, it actually has like a little strap. Look at that. You can actually kind of carry it around like that. Very nicely built. Like, the design on this is actually quite nice. It's very comfortable to use, even if I don't like the WASD style so much. Probably be great for like first-person shooters. Well, I don't know. On the one hand, it's got a great design for that. On the other hand, like, mouse and keyboard is just better for precision. So I don't know. And this box is basically just for that. Like, that's all it was for. Alright. Now we can move on. So that was the swirl. Then following that, I got to try out these things, the Ecto VR shoes. I posted a couple videos of these things online, and this image was from the first day that I went, which was, they were basically still just trying to do setup. I did go back later to get a better demo in, but like, I'll talk more about these things in detail when I have the videos up. Alright, Genki. So, this is a company that I have backed plenty of times in the past on Kickstarter. Basically, they make a lot of, accessories. A lot of stuff for Switch console. They've got a ton of Switch accessories for Switch and Switch 2. And they make, like, the thing that I think they started with was the... Where is it? There it is. So the thing that they started with in Kickstarter was this. The Genki Shadow Cast. The Genki Shadowcast. Basically, it's just a very small, extremely tiny form factor capture card. Really useful for just like, I just want to grab this Switch I'm playing and just capture the video. Don't want to deal with anything. I don't want to deal with extra software. I don't want to deal with anything else. I don't want to have it to be large. I just want to plug it in and have it go. It wasn't very good, to be frank. It was a little expensive. It wasn't more expensive than some of the other options, like an Elgato or whatever, but it was a little too expensive for the quality you got out of it, but it was still relatively cheap. I think it was like, when it first came out, I want to say it was like $70, and it's since gone down to 50, if you can buy it. But like, it was okay. It wasn't better than some options, but it was also pretty good. Most importantly though, This thing is one of the few capture cards you can use to turn an HDMI source into a camera source on a Nintendo Switch 2. I talked to the guys there about that, and their comment was, wait for the next Kickstarter in a month. So, wait for the next Kickstarter in a month. I'm just saying. Alright. Also, when I was leaving, one of the guys just literally chucked this thing at me. I'm just gonna like say it because like I'm not paid by the guys. I don't have any contact with them apart from literally this time when I went to the show and also anytime I back their stuff. But like, I will just note out that like the guy just tossed this at me and later on it's just like, hey, you want a sleeper case? That is literally as the show floor was closing, by the way. So it's not like a thing he was trying to bribe me or anything, because a lot of booths do this. Like pro tip, hack / whatever. A lot of booths will just like dump some unused merch on people at the end of the show because like they don't want to carry it back or they can't sell it. Another example, actually, give me a second. So just as an example, show that this is not a unique thing that these guys were doing. And also, like, I'm gonna be real, I probably won't even use this thing because my Switch 2 is gonna stay in its dock for years. But another example is a couple years ago at PAX East, when the show floor was closing, the Fangamer booth literally just dumped these two on me. Because these were the demo models they had. So they didn't want to carry them back because that's cargo space they had to pay for and deal with. They couldn't sell it because these were the demo units, so they're basically filthy and like, you know, nobody could realistically take them. But also they were just good, so it's just like, hey, you want it? Sure, I'll take a Temmie and a Papyrus, why not? That's just an example though. It's just a thing people do. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I actually forgot I owned that Dread Samus and Emmy Nintendo thingy amiibo. All right, onwards. Oh yeah, I also wanted to bring up this thing because I wanted to play one of the videos I had for it. Because I can't put the videos into this thingy-majigger. So, where is play with... Where's VLC? Okay. Window capture. Select window. VLC. Ooh, that is not supposed to look like that. That's not good. That is no bueno. How do I... Does this thing have like a... You know, maybe I'm just gonna drag it over. Let's do it that way. No, that's not what I want at all. Window capture, turn that off. That'll do, I can just minimize it. Okay. So this is a video I took of, I believe this is one of the developers using the Ecto VR Chew things. There is audio to go along with this, but you don't really need it. The basic thing you need to see is just the dude is literally just walking like that. Like, literally, as he's walking, eventually the shoes start pulling him back into the center of the ring. Like, that's the main thing that you need to see. Okay. Next. Let me get rid of this thing real quick. Ish. Alright. So next up, Genki. NASA! Yes. For some reason, NASA was there. Just straight up NASA, actual literal NASA, just hanging out. I don't know what to make of that, to be perfectly honest. But they were there. They were just hanging out. They were doing it. They were having fun. Ooh, I had that window open. I should close that. I don't know why I even have that open. But yeah, just NASA was there. They were basically showing off stuff for their Artemis space mission, which is their current go back to the moon, build a moon base kind of plan. There was a bunch of cool things going on there. The coolest one, honestly, was that they had real NASA engineers hanging out. The second coolest thing was a little, I would say almost Steel Battalion-esque panel, which was a recreation of a docking system that they have for, you know, connecting up to space stations. And then they had a little Quest 3 demo, which a lot of people were lining up for, and it was basically just like you reach out and grab stuff that's hanging around in space. I never tried that one, but I did try the other one out. All right, and then there was this little dude who was attached to a game called Atom Project. Now, I included this picture because I did stop by to take a look at it. It looked like a very colorful, bright, interesting little like a 3D action game, but I did not get a chance to actually try it out because I did not go on the floor too often. There was outside circumstances that kind of dragged me away from the floor, let's say. And I just never got around to actually trying this one out. It's one I will love to take a look at later on, but I was not able to look at it now. In fact, at the end of the stream, maybe we'll go through and go, okay, so this is what Atom Project looks like on the Steam page. Do that. Okay, next up, I stopped by a little booth that was selling some replica cyberpunk weapons. Shockingly, not that expensive. Asterisk, still over $100. But shockingly, like, not that expensive, all things considered. This one is the flame sword errata, and you can, like, swing it around, and it makes little swoosh, swoosh noises as you swing it. It's pretty cool. And it has the nice light up thing going on the bottom. And over here, I could have cut that person out, but it's fine. Like, you can't make out their face. Is Skippy, the gun that talks to you. And yes, it actually does talk to you. Sort of. There is an app. You'll see there's a little QR code right there. You scan the app, it gives you like a little Snapchat filter thing, which causes Skippy to pop up and talk at you while you're firing the gun. I do have a video of me firing that gun somewhere. I may not have kept it. I cut a lot of videos out because I didn't want to have to like edit people out of the background. But basically it has a little motorized thing, so it gives you a nice little kick when you fire it. It has little lights that go off. It doesn't actually fire anything out. It's not like a Nerf gun. It's literally just a prop that makes noises and has kickback. It's neat, but honestly, I like the katana more, even though the katana is more expensive somehow. All right, and that's Yoshi P of Final Fantasy XIV fame. This was at the panel he had on Friday. I just stopped in there because I was trying to hunt down Jesse Cox in order to figure out if he had a Minecraft world that I could get, because I've been trying to get a hold of that Minecraft map for a minute. But unfortunately, no such luck. There's a lot of deep back lore there. Don't worry about it. It's dead now, sadly. But the panel was nice. Yoshi P was talking a lot. I learned a lot about him and his game design decisions. For example, the fact that Ultima Online, that old MMO, basically shut down Hudson Soft, creators of Bomberman, for a while because they were all too busy just playing the game in the back. And also, he made a comment when he was applying for a job. It's like, if you don't hire me, I'll apply again next year. And if you don't hire me then, I'll apply at another place and make you regret not hiring me. Which is a nice way to think about it, you know? Anyway, it was a very interesting talk. I believe it was live streamed, so you can probably catch the replay of that. It was a good time. And ooh, this is one of my Google Glass pictures of Seattle. This was after I had disembarked the light rail and was walking around trying to get to my hotel. Just a nice little pic of the sky. And this is a great troll. So this is an image that I spotted in one of the buildings, which was mouthfeels from the creator of 3D ASMR, a new way to experience virtual reality. Have you ever seen but want taste? But it's in computer? Well, that's what we do. Mouths were made for fill-in, and we've got all the fixins. Got introducing Mouthfeel Delta. I gotta know. And if you scan this, it takes you to the Wikipedia page for Michael Jordan saying, "Stop it. Get some help." It was a good gag. It was a good gag. They got me with that one. They got me with that one, not gonna lie. All right. Ooh, this is another picture I took with my Google Glass of the entrance hall. You can see I got a little enforcer up there at the top. They were taking a picture of me, so I took a picture of them. Thought it was only fair. And there's a picture of me using the Swazzle in first person, playing a little bit of Street Fighter 6. That's where I figured out I don't really like the WASD configuration. Oh, this is the most important picture I took. You see this? Look at him. Look at that dog. Look at that dog. Look at Baguette Dog. Experience Baguette Dog. Appreciate the Baguette Dog. That dog was exceptionally well trained. When I ran into that dog initially, it was literally like on its back legs, like doing the paws up gesture while wearing this outfit, while people just took pictures of it for like 2 minutes straight. Incredibly well trained. Not only should all follow the owner perfectly. I showed this picture to Ben Starr later on, and his comment was, "That dog was sitting in the front row of our panel, and every time the camera would pan over to the dog, the crowd would cheer louder, 5 times louder than they did for any of us." That's almost a direct quote from one Mr. Ben Starr. It's such a cute dog. Look at the dog. Look at him. Look at him. Her, I think, but you know what I mean. Anyway, adorable dog. Ben Starr has a vendetta against this dog. Very funny. Ah, and is that the picture? Yeah, that's just a picture of me holding Skippy. So you can see it's just like normal little gun. Nothing too crazy. It's just a plastic little toy gun. I almost feel like it's a modified like Nerf gun in the construction and the shape. Like, I feel like there is a Nerf gun that they took apart, recreated Skippy with, and then just like jammed the electronics into to make this. It's very odd. There's a picture of those Ecto VR boots again. Ah, okay, and we can go to this one. Whoop. Nope, do this. And yep. So there's another video I just took of someone walking with the Ectos, just showing off how well they move. And let me talk about this while I'm here. So the Ecto boots are actually very impressive in what they're doing, because they are working very well, doing basically exactly what was intended. Like they're doing their job very well. But they are $2,000. Now, the basic feeling is these things were designed effectively for like a concrete or solid wood floor or something to that effect. They're not designed for carpet. Unfortunately, you kind of need carpet because you need a more forgiving surface to fall on when someone inevitably eats shit while using these things, because a lot of people almost did several times. But when I was using them, I basically couldn't feel myself getting moved around. There was a little bit of like weird feeling sometimes because my balance was a little off because of how heavy these things are and how awkward it is to walk using them. But genuinely, I could not tell I was being locked into place a lot of the time. Very impressive. And according to the creators, they are working on the battery life, the weight, all that stuff. And apparently you could also increase the move speed. Like, they had to limit it significantly for the show floor because they had a very limited space, but apparently you can actually move at a fairly good clip and the shoes will just zip you back into place. And of course, the most important thing here is people are walking around without any support. Like, they're just walking with their own 2 feet. They don't need any walkers. They don't need any supports things. They don't need braces. They don't need harnesses. All this stuff, just the shoes. So it's very impressive tech. I look forward to version 2 or 3 when it's much smaller and cheaper. Absolutely be down for that. Version 1, the early adopters can have that. I don't have enough room in my room to even make use of these things, so I'm good on waiting. All right, next up. All right, so next up was this buckshot roulette in real life. Yes, actually. So the way they did this was super cool. The way they did it is it was 4-player. Each player had a little like tablet in front of them plus 3 item slots, and the shotgun would go around in a circle. And the shotgun itself had some kind of motion tracking thing going on so that it would tell who's pointing at what. So if I'm pointing it at the person across from me, it would go, okay, player 3 is pointing at player 1, cock the shotgun, fire. It's either the blank or the real bullet, you know, as buckshot roulette goes. But then they also... I don't know, I didn't take pictures of it. Oh, I did take pictures of it, but they're later. They also had items. And the way the items worked is they go in the 3 slots, and they actually scan. They have some sort of NFC code or chip in them that you just put on the centerpiece. It reads it. Tablet goes, okay, you just scanned the handcuffs. Who do you want to handcuff? You select the player, handcuffs them, skips their turn. Does all the stuff that you would actually get in buckshot roulette in real life. Incredible amount of time and effort getting that set up. And honestly, I would love that in real life because it's a fun thing to just do. Like, buckshot roulette in game is cool. Buckshot roulette in real life when you can see the other person and like get angry at them for shooting you. That is fun. This is something I would absolutely love in real life somehow. It would be expensive as fuck to set this thing up. Don't get me wrong, but I would love it. All right, next up, this is just me passing by. This is it's a little hard to make out, so let's just do this. The game light gun. It is effectively it is just a light gun. It's a light gun. You shoot it at an LCD TV, so it works. You've got an actual working light gun in 2025 on Kickstarter relatively soon. And it works fine. It works pretty well, actually. I think it was a little expensive. Like, the price is on there. No, I don't see the price on there. But it's a little pricey from what I remember. I don't remember the exact pricing offhand. Basically, the basic version is the gun plus console. The premium version, which is the next one down there, is gun plus console plus a pedal for, you know, your time crisis. And the third version is gun plus console, 2 guns plus console plus pedal plus some little teeny bits. But yeah, it's just straight up Time Crisis. Like, there's not a whole lot for me to say about it. I played Time Crisis on a flat TV in 2025. That's all you need to know. I played Time Crisis. It's just Time Crisis, but it worked, which is more than I can say for a lot of Time Crisis games. I've got Time Crisis 3 on the shelf behind me that I can no longer play because I don't have a CRT for it to work on. This one works. I could buy this. I could use this. It'd be cool if I could play Time Crisis 3 on it, but no such luck, you know. Yeah, there's just another picture of it. If you want to scan and follow, there is the QR code that you should be able to scan on your screen. And there's another one there as well. All right, this one was a little interesting. So this is a game called, on the next slide should have it, PAX Autocratica. the basic deal with this one is that it is a first-person shooter roguelike thing. That's the sort of core gameplay that you interact with. So you have first-person shooting, you have various power-ups, different guns. So you, like when I tried it out, you have like a lightning gun that sparks and leaps to nearby enemies. And there's different enemies that you have to fight through that come in waves and, you know, whatever. The demo was actually extraordinarily short, so I couldn't get a good feel for the majority of the gameplay loop. But the main selling point is not actually that part of the gameplay. The main selling point is that this is effectively a management game. Like a, what's the game? God, what's the game? It's made by the people who made This War of Mine. It's about snow. What is the god? Lumbit Studios, who also made Frostpunk. That's the one. So it's kind of like Frostpunk in that a lot of the game is actually a management game where you're like deciding laws and rules for the people you're controlling and building up an infrastructure, cities, that sort of thing. And then also those guys come with you when you go out into the roguelike world. Like I had an army of dudes just following along behind me, fighting stuff alongside me. It really did not play very well in demo, I'm going to be honest. Like, there was not a lot of stuff for me to sink my teeth into. I couldn't really get a hold of what the gameplay loop was, but it was interesting. The guys were extremely pushy about getting people to sign up on wishlist, though. Hold on. This is swag I can show off. Oh, right. Here, let me show you this. Because I won at Buckshot Roulette, I actually got this. I got a little Buckshot Roulette enamel pin. Because I won. I won that round of Buckshot Roulette. I killed everyone else. Or rather, I killed the last guy. Two of them killed each other. There it is. Alright, so this is what I picked up from PAX Autocratica. It's a little pin. It's quite a nice pin, actually. Kind of hard to see because of the way the camera functions, but yeah, look at that. It's a nice little PAX Autocratica Glory to the State thing. They're going very hard on the, like, on the, Soviet sort of, like, state control everything vibe with that. You know, it's something I would need to sink my teeth into more with a demo. I think there is a demo still on Steam. But it's something you would really need to try out for yourself, I think, when the game comes out. Or maybe I'll try it out and people can see if it's any good. I don't know. It feels like a game that could be very cool, but demos exceptionally poorly. That's what it felt like. All right. So next up, this is just a quick little thing. I decided to take a picture because I actually did try it out. It was tasty. I got some 5-hour energy from the Outer Worlds 2 5-hour energy booth that was just there. It's really all it is. It was just a booth. I also got some gamer sups, which I tried out. Very tasty, but I'll get back to that soon enough. All right. So this is something else I tried out. Did I try this out on day one? Yes, I did. Okay, where does... Yeah, that's when day one ends. Okay, cool. So this is from Legiovox Studios. It is a game called The End of the Line New Age. I got some more images of this, but, okay, so here's the problem I had with this game. The name sucks, actually, a lot. Like, it is too long. The End of the Line New Age is way too long of a game. That is way too long of a name. That's the full name. It's not a subtitle or anything. It's just The End of the Line New Age. it makes sort of sense in context. The basic premise of the game is world apocalypse. Survivors basically stayed in one location and got a signal going, go to the end of the line to start a new age. And it's sort of a railroad thing where the end of the line is literally the end of the railway line, and they're trying to make it all the way to the end in order to start a new age and fix everything and do all that. The actual game itself, very early demo, I feel like very early alpha, sort of pieces are getting fit into place, not quite solidified. It's a hex crawl. Majority of it is a hex crawl, plus turn-based RPG for the combat, which is kind of, I don't know what the best way to describe it. It's front row, back row with like sort of timing aspects to the combat for extra bonus damage. There's a lot of components that are getting pushed in there and sort of getting fit together. It doesn't quite feel like it's gelled yet, is what I'm trying to say. None of the components are bad. The whole by itself is not necessarily bad, but it doesn't feel like everything has been put together in a cohesive, gelled mass yet. It feels more like they have made a game with a bunch of components shoved in. None of it sort of fits quite right, is basically what I'm trying to say. It's not bad, but it doesn't feel done, which is fine because I don't think the game is close to done yet. As far as the story, I have no idea. Like, there's a lot of little bits of lore that were dropped in the demo I tried out. It was kind of right in the... It felt like it was kind of in the middle of things, past the tutorial, but not, like, into the full game yet, sort of in the intro act. It was a weird spot for the story, and I just kind of skipped through a lot of it, to be perfectly honest. I got the general gist of what was going on, but, like... It really did feel like... I don't know. It was not a good time for the demo to pick up. The demo really should have been like more at the beginning or maybe later on where there was more stuff going on. The combat itself, it's okay. It's not super crazy or impressive, but it's just like, it's fine. Nothing really caught me on that. Which is kind of why I say the gelling of components is what's important there, because like it wasn't bad, but it was not catching me necessarily. All right, and finally, on that day, I also tried out Starseeker Astroneer Expeditions, which is this was also the Devolver booth. This is the roguelike Astroneer co-op thing. Not that Astroneer isn't co-op already. Basically, the way it works is you have 4 players on a squad, and you have to do some objective. Now, one thing I did ask them about is this 4-player only? And the response I got back was, it's 4 players per squad. You could theoretically have, I think he said like 16 people on a planet doing stuff, but your immediate squad group will be 4 players. So that's interesting. You could have people like helping out other squads with objectives. Maybe the squad objectives are bigger, they need more people to do stuff. I don't know. But the basic unit that you're working with is 4 players. And a lot of it is effectively... Ooh, I should get that real quick when the break happens. The basic stuff is that each player has more mobility tools, and Astroneer has that like sort of terrain suck gun. All the players have that, but each player also has a different unique tool of their own. So for example, I had a water gun which let me wash away poison, let me stun enemies. Another player had, for example, a air blast gun which just let them blast enemies away, shoot them out, away from them so they could go away. Another player had the terrain gun which let them shoot out terrain to make bridges, that sort of thing. So interesting way to go about it. I will want to see how the game plays in its full loop, because we only did one mission with my group, and also I carried that mission because one of the players just had no idea what they were doing and was just kind of like off in the wilderness, and the other 2 players were doing stuff with them, I suppose. But I don't know. It's not like I'm down on the game, but I don't know what the game is yet. to be perfectly honest. It felt like a roguelike thing, kind of like Risk of Rain, maybe, or Deep Rock Galactic, but I don't really know for sure yet. It's a very different feel from Astroneer, though. Astroneer is all about that co-op base building, exploration, mining kind of thing. This is very much objectives. Like, go do objectives with people. Very different game, same universe, which is a point they made as well. All right, and then I've got some of my Google Glass stuff. This was a picture taken of the Ecto booth. This is one of the pictures of the tool. So you can see I had the handcuffs and a hacksaw. The player over there, player 2, had a beer and handcuffs. There's me holding the shotgun, ready to load it on someone. And I handcuffed... So I actually won by, like, locking down player 1. I handcuffed him, and then I shot him to see if it was a blank, and then I used my looking glass to shoot myself with the blank that came up, and then I shot him with the real bullet that came out afterwards. I had that match pretty on lock. Like, it was a good time, but I did win. I don't feel bad about it. I won. This is an image from End of the Line. This is just one of the talkie bits they had going on. I just had a second image, I guess I took from a slightly different angle. I'm not sure why. Ah, yes, and this is the end of the day, where I went to the Peak Party. Peak Launch Party, hosted by Aggro Crab. I did not take many photos inside. First, because it was a bunch of people, and I didn't want to just take random pictures of people. And second, because, like, there wasn't a whole lot of stuff to take. It was mostly just, like, chilling and chatting with people. Although I did get one picture, which is possibly the most important picture I could have taken inside the party, which was biblically accurate Bing Bong cake. Delicious, by the way. There was like 3 different flavors. I don't remember what they were, but they were all very tasty. And, yeah, just biblically accurate Bing Bong. I love this cake. It's great. The one thing that I do wonder about is I feel like some of the eyes were taken off and eaten by somebody. Like, I feel like there should be an eye down at the bottom there. Anyway, it was a great party. Very chill, good vibes. Almost got kicked out. But it's fine. We're fine. And then I found out that Australians love to drink. Also, I found out that the Schedule 1 developers were there, and also from Australia. And they just love taking shots. Love taking shots. Great drinkers, as it turns out. Don't go drinking with an Australian if you don't expect that. You now have been warned. That's the only warning I can give you. Australians love to get drinks. Is there anything else I can really talk about from that? Not really. Like, there's some things I could just, like, make as an offhand comment, but I probably shouldn't, because that would be kind of a dick move. Yeah, no, nothing really I could talk about, I don't think. Lovely people were there, chatted with them, good time. And also there's that one guy. I'm not gonna tell you who it is. Anyway, that pretty much rounded out day 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a quick break. I need to go pick up a package from the front. And I'm going to get some more water. And then we'll be back with days 2, 3, and maybe 4. Probably 4, actually. I don't think I took that many pictures. All right, be right back. Oh no, I think I made a terrible mistake. I accidentally, did not run the ad when I left, and instead the ad is running right now. It's probably fine. Alright, so, as I mentioned, NASA was there. This is day 2, by the way. And they had this cool, like, Steel Battalion-esque panel thing that they were showing off that you could try and use to, like, land a lunar, not a lunar lander. You can use to try and, like, dock a a space station with another space station. But all these dials apparently were like legit, like not real, but basically 1-to-1 of what the actual things are, which was very cool. So the top screen was a camera, air quotes, camera view of what you see outside, while the other ones are basically readouts of like angle of approach, velocity, thrusters, lineup, that sort of stuff. So you could get what is effectively a fairly realistic feeling for what it is to try and dock one of these ships. Also, interesting tidbit that I actually learned, the thrusters, the jets, are designed to pulse in a specific way so that they only add a specific amount of impulse to your movement. As opposed to what most people do when they're playing Kerbal Space Program, which is just, if it's on, and just go. Because this way you have a very set, standardized amount of acceleration that you have to cancel out. So if you tap left, it turns the jets on for, 1 second, pushing you in the left direction. That means that you're moving 1 meter per second in that direction or whatever. That means if you tap right, it'll just cancel that out because it fires exactly the same amount in the other direction. So it all makes perfect sense. It's all lined up very well. Like, it makes perfect sense when you learn about it. And it also means that from now on, my Kerbal Space Program builds are going to be so good. I'm going to have all the pulsing and none of the just random jets. It was what I would say, except that like 90% of the issue with Kerbal Space Program is getting off the launch pad to begin with, so probably won't actually change a whole lot. It's a shame about Kerbal Space Program too, though. All right, this thing. This is interesting. So, there were 3 hardware booths that were at PAX West this year. There is the Ecto VR boots, which are the VR boots I was showing off earlier. There was a console called the Game Tank, which I'll show off later. It was basically the last thing I tried out. And then there's this thing, which is the Cubix Entertainment. Was it Cubix? Yeah, Cubix Entertainment console. I don't actually remember what it's called. Basically, it's a 3D printed, put together Linux box that they're trying to make as a sort of, I don't know the best way to put it, because it's not really open source, but it's like a sort of open console that they're trying to make. I have a video of me playing on it. This one I think was taken from my Google Glass. So the game they had showing off was a Mario Kart clone, effectively. It's just like a little Mario Kart thing. You have your little characters, you have your, red shell analog, you have your green shell analog, you got your bananas, you got item boxes, your boosts, all that stuff. And, it's fairly competent. But my main issue with this console is that it's kind of a weird state. Like, I always say that having another player in the console space would be good, generally speaking, because you want more people in there to get more competition. Because if you don't have any competition, you get a monopoly where Sony, it'll be Sony, gets to jack up their console prices to like $800, $900, $1,000 for a new console. And what, are you not going to buy the new console? It's got the new game on it. And then just doesn't make a good console because there's no reason to. So having more competition in the space is always good. But the problem is I feel like the focus here was a little wrong. Because to be perfectly frank, there's no way that a couple of guys are going to be able to outpace and outmatch Sony or Microsoft in terms of consoles. It's just not going to happen. So what they need to do is they need to focus on something else that makes their hardware more appealing. And in this case, I think what they were trying to do is sort of make it more open and replaceable so you could fix it yourself. But that's not really a good angle to go with for a lot of people. Because being able to fix it yourself is good. That is objectively a good decision. but also most people just don't want to buy a console where they would need to worry about that. Also ignore my being wrecked here by the NPC. Like, I don't know, I just feel like they have a decent idea, and I don't want to, like, knock on their incredible work for making a working console. It's more than I could do, but I feel like they need to figure out exactly what their console has that other consoles don't. Why would somebody buy their console over another console? Because having the slightly modular controller things they had, which was sort of like sort of Switch Joy-Con-y, where you could take the Joy-Con controllers and put it into a bigger controller to make it sort of more of a regular D-pad shape instead of Joy-Cons. Or I don't know. Yeah, that guy wrecked me. Making a 3D printed so that it's easy to replace, but like it's still kind of expensive. I don't know. It felt weird. This console, I like the idea of an open console, but I don't think they were doing it particularly well or doing themselves any favors with it. Also, I lost the cart game they had going because the first place NPC just completely wrecked me. So I'm slightly bitter about that. By the way, Google Glass, great investment. All right. So after that, I ran into New Match City. So this is a game you could actually play right now because it's all web-based. You just go to newmatchcity.com. The basic idea behind this is it is a collectible card game where you build decks that you play on other people, and it's sort of a icebreaker game, I guess is the best way to put it. Sorry. Anyway, it's basically an icebreaker game. It's very much a case of like, okay, send the link, get the link, we're now playing against each other, and the basic way you play is... Now, why did I get this tweet? The basic way you play is you select a card and how you feel about that card. So one of the examples was boss fights, and you go strongly dislike, dislike, neutral, like, strongly like. Pretty simple. Then your opponent goes, okay, he picked boss fights. What do I think he feels about boss fights? And he picks, you know, strong dislike, dislike, all that stuff. And he gets 2 tries to try and get it right. And if he gets it right, gets a point. Gets it wrong, tries again, then, you know, gets points based on that. You go through a couple of these, and it seems fairly simple, right? It seems like it's pretty much a nothing game. But it's deceptively effective despite how simple it is. Because, like, I started off, like, one of the discussions I had with the guy was like, I put down the boss fight thing, and I said, like, what do you think about boss fights? Okay, I kind of dislike him because I kind of agree a little bit about that stupid comment about are boss fights passe or a thing of the past? And then we sort of got into a conversation about, like, okay, what's a good boss fight? What makes a good boss fight? Why are some boss fights not good? What kind of gameplay would not make a good boss fight? And we got into this discussion about that, and we sort of moved on along topics until, like, basically, like, moved into talking about, like, the network backend for the game, just as an example. But, like, it's deceptively simple because you go through the game and then you either commiserate on something or you go, really? Why? And just start questioning each other, and it's actually, like, incredibly good icebreaker. Like, I can highly recommend this for that purpose. Right now, it needs a little bit of juice. It's a little bland. The cards are basically just, you know, colored borders with a text thing in the middle. But there's a lot of potential in there, and it's honestly shockingly good at what it's supposed to do. Like, I don't know how best to put it. It just really works. You wouldn't think it works if you go in with the mindset of, this is not going to work. It won't work. But, like, if you're even slightly open to it and go in with somebody you want to talk to, or somebody new that you're just meeting for the first time, it really works as a great icebreaker. I can't really like say I'm talking it up too much, but like it really works. And then we just got a chat with the dude. It's cool. Like it was cool. It was cool. Like, it just works. Really. Like honestly, that's one of the big surprises of the show I had. It's just because all the other games like, oh yeah, cool action game, cool gun game, cool platforming game, you know, whatever. This was just like weird little card game that makes you talk to people, but it made him talk to people. It just does the job. It works. All right. Next up is what was this? The name's hard to read. I think it was Stardust Frontier. I don't want to say the name wrong. Anyway, I believe it's Stardust Frontier. It's really hard to make out because it's, yeah, Stardust Frontier. So this game is extremely cool. Basically, this game is, what's the best way to describe it? It's a turn-based RPG where you and up to 3 of your friends in local co-op or online co-op or in versus mode play as one part of a 4-piece robot. You have one character who's the chest, one character who's the right arm, one character who's left arm, one character who's the legs, or the legs are kind of split off into that like side gun robot thing. And the basic gist is like, you have to communicate with each other because you see what the opponent is doing. If it's an NPC or if it's a, you know, other players, then you can have to disguise what you're doing or whatever. And your goal is basically like, can I attack this thing to stop it from damaging my robot? Can we destroy that arm before it destroys us? Can we blow up those legs and cancel its big attack? That arm is a shield. Don't attack the arm, go for the head instead because it's going to do an attack, and if you attack the arm's going to reduce the damage it takes. So that kind of thing. It's all about communicating with your teammates and trying to figure out the best plan of attack. But wait, there's more. Additionally, each part of your attack runs on a bunch of sort of WarioWare-esque mini games where you have to do a bunch of actions on your phone in order to power up your attack to get it working. And then also you can buy new parts from the store as you're going through it. Like, it's very in-depth and very interesting. I'm really looking forward to when this game comes out because it will be a lot of fun to play with people. And it works online or offline. It's all server-based, so you can connect up to somebody separately and just play with them wherever they are. I gave the example to the developer of a game called AyotoStreaming, which was similar, but had the crippling issue of requiring you to be local for couch co-op. Very interesting game, very cool, but it does require a 4-player couch co-op, which is a major problem. Super cool game though. I wish it did better because it required couch co-op. But that's a different game. That's not Stardust Frontier. That was AyotoStreaming. Stardust Frontier, very cool, has a lot of potential behind it. And I believe... yes, I do have more images of it from my Google Glass coming up. So we'll get back to this one. The next one here is Chaos Agents, a game by Richard Garfield of Magic the Gathering fame. I don't know what's up with him recently. I guess he's in this, like, he's just really into procedurally generated unique things now. The basic gist of this is it is a battle royale auto battler where you have a unique agent, and by unique agent I mean like all your stats are unique for that character. There's no person will have the same character. He did the same thing with I think it was called Keystones, the card game where like it's not a collectible card game, it is just a battle card game where you get a deck and is your unique deck. All of them mathematically designed to be equal on the same playing field. This is sort of the video game version of that. Every agent is mathematically designed to be, you know, relatively equal, but as you're going through, you get sort of Vampire Survivor-esque upgrades that just pop up every so often, and you get to pick one of those to try and build your character towards something. The developer, or one of the developers working there, told me that it was basically trying to make a game where no meta could exist. Because every match will be unique. You will never have the same match twice. It is literally impossible within the game's design. and you have to just build based on the match you're in. The characters will move around on their own. They'll have their own stats and personality or whatever to do whatever they want, whenever they want. And you just pick your character's upgrades and watch them go. Game seems a little weird, not gonna lie. I'm not sure if I would go for it personally because it seems kind of wonky in how it's effectively an auto battler, but that's just me because I think auto battlers are weird. For people who like auto battlers, this may be a good pick because like it's just an auto battler that's a battle royale thing. So you have one guy to take care of instead of a little weird chessboard thing of Dota characters. All right, and there's Game Tank. I don't know why this picture is here because I visited this booth on the 4th day. I took this picture because I thought, okay, maybe I'll just take the picture of Game Tank and then visit it online because I didn't have time to stop by, but I did have time to stop by, so we'll get to that later. All right, so this is another picture of the console that I took with my Google Glass. You can see all the little buttons and dials that are on there. You can see a better look at the screens. The left and right screens are basically mirrored, which just leaves the one in the center, which I think is for like pitch yaw adjustment. All right, and there is a picture of the phone. I've got myself selected as the legs for the robot we were playing with, and then my fellow teammates picked up the other 2 limbs. And there is us starting off the game. And there, we just finished the demo. And there I am holding the game gun, so I could try out some Time Crisis. Not a whole lot to talk about there. Like I said, it is just Time Crisis. All right, so we'll get to Stars of Icarus in a second. But first, I think this one is just the intro video, so I'm going to skip that. This one has some of the gameplay being shown off. So there you go. Look at your phone. There's my phone. I'm selecting, I'm going to attack, you know, whatever part of the robot. Should I really not look at the... There we go. So I'm saying I'm attacking the robot's chest. I'm going to use that attack on him. 3, 2, 1. Now I've got to see like, okay, that's what we're doing. That's what the enemy robot is doing. I've got to shoot these asteroids that are around by moving the phone around in order to find them. Got a little mini game going on. All right. Next mini game, I had to unscrew some nuts that were on there. Next mini game, there was a little like test tube that you can't see because the screen's too bright. But basically, I had to keep that thing from falling over. Then I had to follow some pulses, Simon Says style. And then I had to, I think this one I had to drive around to avoid stuff that was shooting me by just tilting the thing. I don't know. It's oh yeah, I had to tilt it to block bullets. So we finish our stuff. Then the attacks go off to whatever the robot there is doing. And that's basically the gameplay. You just keep doing that over and over again per round. It is a roguelike, so you are trying to keep your health from dropping as much as possible while you go. Oop, there's my mouse. So it's yeah, it was very fun. It was fun. A little frantic, and there was some issues with some of the games not being totally clear on how to work, which the developers hopefully will take under consideration and tighten up some things, make controls a little smoother to work with, because some of those controls were a little wonky, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, in general, it was very fun. I love the idea behind it. Just needs a little bit of cleaning up is all. All right, so next up, Stars of Icarus. Very excited for this game to come out, successor to Guns of Icarus, and I think it's a good successor. So I went and tried the game twice during the weekend. First time I tried it out, they were basically just doing fighter-on-fighter matches. So just 3v3, 3 people in fighters, 3 people in fighters. So it was pretty much just like a dogfighting game. And to be honest, I wasn't a big fan of that. It was kind of... Didn't feel very good to control. The ships were a little sluggish to move. You didn't have all your powers and stuff. There was a little bit of pilot power stuff going on, but it just didn't feel very good to fly around as a single ship and do that. I'm going to be perfectly honest. But I did go back. And I specifically asked, hey, could I try out one of the multi-crew ships? Because I want to see how it is. And one of the guys said, yeah, sure, let's load it up. So we loaded it up. It's just Guns of Icarus again, baby. It's just Guns of Icarus, and I'm so happy. The ships are huge, though. Like, the Guns of Icarus ships, fairly, like, compact, right? Because you had to run around from one end to the other constantly in order to pump up the weapons, repair the engine, make sure the balloons were okay, like, all that stuff. This one, ships are gigantic. Like, the one ship we were on, which I think was a 3-person crew, or maybe a 5-person crew, it had, like, 3 floors. And those floors weren't small. So, like, I had to run around trying to get to the helm to, like, boost the engines, boost the shields. I had to run around to the guns trying to boost up the guns, and then I had to take over one of the guns because the robot that we had on one of the other guns was just out of range because I was at the back of the ship all the way over there, so I had to get on the other gun in order to shoot him up. And then, like, I had to try and get on the sonar in order to try and, find where the enemy ships were spawning in from, even though because we were in a cloud so they could see us, so we had to emerge from the nebula cloud in order to find them. It's a huge ship. It felt so good to be back. Like, I am so excited for this game now. And that was early alpha. That was an alpha. This game's not done. This game's not close to done. This game's not even out for testing yet. Like, I'm so excited for this game to drop. You have no idea. I'm so excited. Like, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They've had all that time to practice. This game must have been cooking for a while because it felt really good for how early it is in development, strictly speaking. I'm so excited for this game. I'm so excited. Like, if they can make the single fighters feel good, because it really did not feel very good, I'm gonna be honest. Like, it felt sluggish and the guns didn't feel very good in single player. They feel great when you're, like, running around the big ship because you assume a big ship is gonna be sluggish and the guns are gonna have a lot of, like, inertia movement to try and track things while you're moving with the ship. The fighter kind of had that, but it was small and nimble, which felt weird. But, like, if they keep improving the way the ships work, then I'm gonna be so set for this game. For real. I got some video as well, so we'll play that later on. Yeah. Unfortunately, a lot of these days were kind of short because of hangovers. Unironically. The peak party had a lot of drinking, and the drinking then led into more drinking later on in the evening until 2 a.m., and some people were not able to walk back to their hotel rooms. Literally unable to walk. So that hangover basically persisted for like 3 days. Yeah, it was an interesting time. So I basically got to the show floor very late on Saturday, which is why I didn't have a whole lot to talk about, because this is on Sunday. This was the first thing I did on Sunday. This was on the 31st. Oh yeah, I also stopped by, I forgot what this booth was called, but they were selling a Pip-Boy replica from the show. Very impressive, actually. It's way better than the Pip-Boy I have downstairs from my Fallout 3 collector's kit, which is just a clock. But like, this thing it does the whole thing. It's got the flashlight, it's got a map. It actually, I think, has actual Google Maps in it, so you can navigate by this. It has a radio built in. It was just a lot of effort put into this prop, which is why it was like $300. So, it's there. It's there if you want to buy a Pip-Boy 3000. It's expensive, but it's there. All right, and also stop by Framework. They just had a booth there, which is neat. Fun fact, also, if you go to PAX West and you are a watcher of Linus Tech Tips, since Framework is on screen here, sometimes guys from Linus Tech Tips will just show up at PAX West, because Vancouver is like a 3-4 hour car ride away. So they're neighbors, basically. They can just show up, and it's a big gaming tech convention, so why wouldn't they? I ran into one of them and apologized that I forgot his name from last year. So, yeah, good times. Anyway, the main thing they were showing off, besides having a demo of like how easy it is to take apart the laptops, they were showing off their new framework desktop thing, which after seeing it in person, I am considering getting one because while I love my stream PC, it is also a piece of junk that I upgraded to be slightly less of a piece of junk, and it's still a piece of junk. So if I could get something that is significantly smaller and still significantly better than this thing, and ideally keep all the functionality, yeah, I'd be down for that. Absolutely. I got to look at the insides of this thing. It is very small. It is a mini ITX build or micro ITX build, one of the two. I don't remember which one. It's tiny, whatever one it is. And it was just running Cyberpunk, straight up running Cyberpunk, getting 33 frames per second. If you want, you can like, here, I'll show you the stats. So 33 frames per second. It was running shockingly well using integrated graphics from AMD. There's the presets. It was using a high preset running 1440p, which is really good. Yeah, no frame gen even. Yes, ray tracing. So like it ran shockingly well on this computer. Like very impressive. Actually sold me on this quite a bit because I was looking at it and going, I don't really need a new PC. Why would I buy this? I will say the one issue that I did spot with this thing is that there is no room in there for non-integrated graphics. Like there is a single, I think there's a single PCIe like by 8 slot or by 4 slot in there. So I could use it because I've got a, in my stream computer, I have a Elgato internal capture card, which was a old Elgato HD60. No, wait. It's whatever the Elgato Pro was that isn't the 4K Pro. The old one. Anyway, that one's in there, and that one should work in this computer, but don't expect to be able to plug in an external GPU. At all. Ever. Not that you would be able to fit one in there. Like, I don't even think the tiny ITX ARC card I have would fit in that case. Oh, maybe it might, actually. I don't think it has the slots for it, though. Anyway, point is that computer's tiny. And actually, how much is it? Hold on. Let's go to framework real quick. Framework. Let's see. Framework desktop. Framework desktop. Pre-order now. How much is it? $1,099. $2,000. Maybe I won't buy one of these then. They do have a big CPU in there, but like maybe I don't need that for $2,000. This computer I have is $500. That'll do fine. The streaming computer, I should say. All right. Following that, got to try out White Knuckle. Now this one I got a little bit of swag for. Let's grab it. Yeah, there it is. So, White Knuckle. Very cool game. They were actually showing off some stuff from their upcoming update, which I will not spoil, but I will say is more horizontal than expected, which is what the new abilities and items they're going to show off are used for. So that was very cool. I got to show some people White Knuckle. Also chatted with the developer a little bit, and I don't think it's a spoiler to say this. It turns out, I spoke to the people at the Peak party, and some of the people at AgroCrab and Landfall who made Peak are big fans of White Knuckle. And then I spoke to the White Knuckle dev, and turns out he's also a big fan of Peak. So turns out they're fans of each other, and I tried to push him to go like, you gotta talk to the Peak people. You gotta do it. Do it. And I'm just saying, if there is a White Knuckle Peak collab where there's a Scoutmaster hat in White Knuckle and you have like the scout hands climbing around, and I don't know, maybe there's some kind of thing in Peak for it. I'm just saying it may partially be thanks to me. I'm just saying, just do you hold your applause, your thanks. I will take it all. And also, I got this a little white knuckle pin. So it's really just, it's a very nice thing. It's the hands, it's got a python and hammer. Nice little design. Really like this one. It's very cute. I'm just saying, if that happens, it's thanks to me. Oh, I forgot. I actually, okay, I didn't take any pictures of it, unfortunately, because it was kind of a small thing. I'll get to that in a second. Okay, so there's White Knuckle. And that was pretty much the end of that day. That was Sunday. A very quiet day. This is just a nice little picture of the city skyline from a a restaurant we were at. Did I not take any video footage of Guns of Icarus? Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, so here's some Google Glass footage, though. This is from the fighter run. You can see I've got a little cockpit going there. We're just jetting all over the place, shooting people. I had a laser and a minigun. There's the laser firing off. It was a good time. All right, so after that, this is just some personal stuff that we did. After that, people find this anyway. This was taken at the Din Tai Fung in Seattle. Very nice dumplings. After that, though, we went to a party, a small developer thing. Then after that, we went to a place called Jupiter Bar, which is pretty rad, actually. The vibes were great. And also they had Black Emperor in the back, which I didn't realize was a console or an arcade cabinet that existed outside of like one location that I've seen before. So that's neat. Just there's a Black Emperor. There was a Nidhogg 2 arcade cabinet. There was a House of the Gun Dead cabinet and a Killer Queen cabinet. So, like, this place is actually rocking. Like, their arcade was crazy good. If you're ever in Seattle, like, check this place out. It is called Jupiter Bar. Like, crazy good arcade. They also had the Mario Kart ones back there. There was also a bunch of... there was a bunch of pinball machines. I think there was a claw machine. Like, very good lineup of arcade stuff back there. Crazy good. Okay, that's Monday. Okay, so there's one last thing I forgot to mention, which is on... Okay, so I mentioned there was a lot of drinking this PAX, which, let's be frank, there always is. Every PAX, developers will get drunk someplace. Day 1, peak party. Day 3 was a small developer thing. I won't name it because they probably don't like having people get in. But second day, which was Saturday, was the Larian party, which was a great time last year. Unfortunately, the location they went to last year was not available for this year, I guess, due to events, which if people know what the Larian party is, they'll know what the events are. That means you can't go back to that location anymore. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but it was an event that does mean the party cannot take place in that location this year, at least. Maybe it'll be in Jupiter next year. That'd be cool. I will not name the location that we were at for the Larian party, just in the off chance it causes issues. Very interesting location, though. A lot of character to it. Very loud. Karaoke was wonderful. A lot of people with great singing voices up there. A lot of people with a lot of energy singing, too. Like, I think we only got through, like, 20 people before we had to stop doing karaoke, but it was a great time. And I also got a couple things from there. Well, really just one thing. I got into a conversation with some people. And I picked up... They gave me this. Kind of because it was the Larian party, right? So what you're seeing here is a pixel die. And what that is a smart die with LEDs on it. I have not actually opened this box yet. It's been sitting in my bag this whole time. Come on. Why is this box so hard to open? Anyway, if you want to scan the QR code, there it is. I don't know if you can scan that. I don't know if that's scannable. Alright. So, right here we got a little charging carrying case for our die. And inside, we have our D6. Look at that. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, so basically it's a die that has like a bunch of LEDs in it. That's pretty much the gist of it. You can do a lot of stuff with this, like you can change the rolling patterns, you can make different patterns show up. You can, there was one die they had, which is a D20, which they made so it only lights up on 20, for example, which I actually have that from ThinkGeek years and years ago. But it was a very cool little thing, and I'm very happy and appreciate that they gave me that. They didn't have to. I was just looking at it going, whoa, it's so cool. And they just said, hey, you want one? I said, yeah. It's because it's super cool. The only problem is I don't have anybody in person to play with, so I'm going to have to find an in-person group so I can bust it out on them. I mostly picked the D6 because, like, it's a very common die. And also, the D6... Okay, so, like, the other dice that they had, like the D20, which is what one person was rolling around just for fun, is clear with the LED sort of embedded in the inside. The D6 is opaque, and each of the dots, each of the pips on the die is an LED. So you get a totally different effect. Instead of like an RGB internal glow, you get an RGB face pattern, which is way cooler in my opinion. Obviously not feasible for a lot of these dice. Like, you can't do 20 of those on a D20, but like for a D6, it's great. It's super cool. Highly recommend getting one of those things. I don't know if you still can though, because that was a Kickstarter thing. Anyway, back to the slideshow. So, day 4. Day 4, I had to go to sleep early and then got up early because I had a hot date with Kirby Air Riders. And I smuggled some footage out of that, believe you me. So you are going to see some world's first footage, uncut, from Kirby Air Riders in a minute. For the, while we were waiting in line, they basically just played the Sakurai Kirby Air Ride Direct at us, you know, just sort of for tutorialization purposes to get people in there. And then I got to actually get up to the booth and try out the game. And there I am getting first place with Wingstar. All right, so let's go back to this real quick. Basically, here's the way it worked. It was a 20-minute demo. First, like, 10 minutes of that was basically doing tutorials, like learning how to drift, learning how to change stars, learning how to do the attacks, learning how the abilities work, that sort of stuff. The next 10 minutes was 2 back-to-back 5-minute city trial runs. So we didn't get any of, like, the unevent. We got, like, unevent is happening, which was meteors, and I don't remember what the other one was. Portals. There were portals opening everywhere, and you had to go through the portals to get power-ups. But we didn't get any of the, like, small races where you race around the city, or you do, like, an arena fight in the middle of the city to get power-ups. We didn't get any of those. We basically just got one citywide event, and then final event. And we got 2 of those. So, let me see, where is it? Yeah, let's skip ahead to my Google Glass video here. Unfortunately, one of my videos got corrupted, but I think it wasn't the long one, so we're fine on that front. So this is just a little tutorial for swapping machines. Basically, if an enemy has a damaged machine, you can tag him real quick. Just crash into them, steal the machine, and knock him off. It's basically a lock-on. So the way it works is like, if you are targeting something, like if you're targeting an enemy, you will basically get a speed boost by pressing the special button. Like, it is a pretty significant boost too, but you basically push the special button, it speed boosts you to the enemy, and you just kick them off and take the machine. But it only works if they're damaged. Okay, now, the big one. This is a 7-minute video. I picked GUI. I don't think... There is sound, but I don't know how well it came out, because the Google Glass has, frankly, pretty awful audio recording, so I'm just not gonna play it. It's for the best. So during this section, I was just doing a little bit of rolling around. Ooh, man, look at Chariot Star go. I was just doing a little bit of rolling around, trying to figure out what I could take a look at, where I could go, what kind of stars I could pick up. I picked up this one just because it was better than Compact Star, but I didn't really want to keep it around for an extended period of time. And one of the things that the reason why I'm doing this is because in the Sakurai video, he flies past the volcano. Oh, Dynablade swooped in, right. Oh, right, Krako did show up. Anyway, he's kind of just went past the volcano and said, I'm not going to show you what's in there. So I decided, you know what? I want to see what's in there. So this is just me trying to get in the volcano and then crashing down. And it takes you into this, like, crater, which is just full of power-ups. Like, just jam-packed full of power-ups all over the place. I'm not sure what the deal with that is, but, like, that's basically all it is. So you hop into that center thing, and it takes you back out, and I think Dynablade was already dealt with by that point. Yeah, I think I just, like, popped out after Dynablade was gone. And at this point, I'm basically trying to figure out a different star to ride, because I don't like this one at all. You'll have to forgive my head movements, because this is literally attached to my face, so it's kind of hard to not do that. Oh yeah, that thing right there. That thing will explode when you hit it, which damages you and your star, but does give you some good upgrades. I swapped a Shadow Star here because I wanted something that was a little bit better for combat. But also, I wanted a star so I could actually fly up. And what I'm trying to do here, you can kind of see me like trying to point up, is I'm trying to get to the floating platform in the middle of the area. Picked up Turbo Star just to keep moving, and also picked up this thing so I could smack people with it. I want to say the meteors are going to come down in a minute. I didn't remember there being more than... I remember there being more than just Dynablade. Yeah, so that's why I slipped over to Wingstar, because I was trying to fly up to that floating platform, and I just was not able to do it with any of the other stars. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do it with this one either. Because I realized I hadn't actually been picking up any of the glide things this whole time, so and then I took a glide down, which didn't help. Yeah, there's the meteors. So the other one was Krako and the portals. Krako showed up, and also there was a portal event, which just is like, go through the portals really fast to get upgrades. Oh yeah, and I'm giant. I picked up a big upgrade, so I just huge. I stole those upgrades from a dude. Yeah, at this point I'm trying to find a different star because I'm realizing like Wing Star is not going to do it for me with how many downgrades I took. Wait, hold, go back there for a second. What? I didn't notice that before, but when I went into the water just then, it looked like it glitched out with the geometry. Is that right? Like, watch. Yeah, look at that. I didn't even notice that. That must have happened for like a fraction of a second. I just did not even register that happened when I was playing the game. Ha! So there you go. Unauthorized Kirby Air Riders footage has unauthorized Kirby Air Riders glitch found. Ahaha. Anyway, there's just that water tunnel thing that happened. So that just jetted me out on the other side. And at some point, I'm going to find that battle wagon star. Oh yeah, I picked up Rex for the same reason, because I wanted a combat star. And then I find, like, one of the new ones, which is the big, like, combat wheel thing. I definitely find it someplace around here, but I don't remember where it is. It's going to happen in a second. Yeah, there it is. So I picked this thing up, which is like basically a Warhammer like orc star. It's full of it's got wheels. I think it has like tusks on the front too. So you can see there, I got a lot of speed. My strength is actually pretty low, as is my weight. So I probably would have been best suited for an actual drag race, but I decided to go with Dust Up Derby because that's what was recommended. So it's basically just me running around trying to smash into people. Now, because we're playing with robots, basically any of these would have had a match. In the direct team, Sakurai showed off, like, if nobody else gets into your game, then it's no contest, but, like, basically impossible with bots. So the guy next to me was in Dust Up Derby 3. The guy on my left, I think, was in a drag race. I'm not really sure. But anyway, this really is just a lot of me just spinning around trying to smack people. There's a beam that you can use that you just smack people with. Yeah, I got one down. Yeah, really it's just a lot of me trying to, like, do the spin attack into people and then missing. I think at some point I also activate GUI's special. There it is. So when he does that, he turns into dark matter and shoots out bullets. I was in pretty low health there, so I think I'm about to get killed. Yeah, you can see it's just me, like, missing people as I try and spin. Yeah, and I got knocked out right at the end. But even with my one death, still got first, baby! Anyway, that is your unauthorized Kirby Air Ride footage for the day. Where's that thing? All right, so continuing onwards. This is basically from a second match, because like I said, we had 2 matches. I picked Glide Star and just went for a glide race. I busted over 1,000 meters on the glide because I just got a whole ton of glides. And also, I actually managed to get up to the Sky Island. Not a whole lot up there. A little disappointing. Also, despite my best efforts, I did not find any parts for the Dragoon or the Hydra. It's possible they're still in there in the rail game, but I just did not find any. So, unfortunate. Right. Next up, we have a game called Beatdown City Survivors. So this game is okay. Let me explain what's going on here as well. This game is in what's called the PAX Rising area. Basically, it's a collection of like 6, 12, 10 games that are indie games that they just put in sort of a special designated area. This is one of them. This game was way more interesting than I gave it credit for initially. So initially when I saw this and I was playing through it, I was kind of like, this doesn't feel very good. It's like a Survivors thing, but like it feels weird. Basically all your characters are melee. It just doesn't feel very good to play. But then I talked to one of the developers and he showed me that like, yes, that is correct, but also that's not the only thing you can do. The game is actually closer to like an immersive sim in certain aspects because a lot of it is environmental, trying to figure out what parts of the environment you can use to stop enemies. So as an example, there's a lot of destructible environment stuff. You can punch a fire hydrant to create water, which makes enemies wet. But then also you can punch a light post next to it, have it crash down, and now suddenly that entire water area is electrified. Or you can get the cooler. If you punch the AC next to the water, freezes the ground, freezes enemies that are wet. So it's all these interactions that you have to learn how they work, how they can do stuff, what things are on the map, how they can affect you. So there is a lot more to this game than I initially got just from my very brief touch with it when I was playing. So I'm very glad the developer was there because like if I had not been talking to them, I would have kind of written it off as a weird melee Vampire Survivors. It is still a weird melee Vampire Survivors, don't get me wrong. Like the melee combat, the melee range, I should say, is a little too short. Like, you know in Vampire Survivors, the first guy you get has the whip and it's like half the screen in length. This is much closer. Like you will take hits. But healing seems to be a little bit more readily available because you've got regeneration you can get just from upgrades. You can find health stuff. And they're going for more of a beat 'em up, I guess, kind of feeling, which is more about taking and dishing hits out than just avoiding damage. I do feel like it needs a little bit of onboarding that's better and a little bit better smoothing out, fine-tuning, but like honestly, actually very interesting start for what they have here. All right. Then Arcane Eats. This is basically a roguelike deck building cooking game. The basic gist is that you're running a restaurant. You've got guests who come in and you are trying to feed them food so that they don't damage your mental well-being too much to the point that you don't want to run the restaurant anymore. And you do that by getting cards that have ingredients, have spices, have different cooking stuff on it. You play it down, you make a meal to cook it up and serve it to your guests that feeds their hunger. Interesting design, and it's very cool how like all the dishes are sort of procedurally generated because you put down like a stack of potatoes on top of a hamburger, on top of buns, on top of fish, and it gives you like the crunchy fish burger or something. So it's a little bit of that. It's maybe not as in depth as that way I'm saying, but it is a fun little detail that exists. And just like it plays well. It's a decent deck building little roguelike. There is something it kind of reminds me of, another roguelike game like that, but I don't remember offhand what it is. Like, there is a relatively close analog that I could point towards and say it's kind of like this, but I don't remember exactly what that was off the top of my head. But it's a fun little game, and there probably will be a demo. I think a lot of these games actually had demos that were available on Steam, so check it out. Probably try it out, it's good. This one does seem like it's going for a lot of character and like goofy fun times. So it's not going to be like super serious restaurant building stuff as you would expect with a fantasy restaurant game, but it's a fun little time. I can recommend checking it out. There's the thing. So just, you know, more of that. All right. This game I did not try out, but this is a very odd game. It's, I can't remember the way that the developer described it. It's basically like a series of, okay, here's the two things the developer used to describe it. Why did the chicken cross the road, but as a murder mystery? So you're trying to figure out like what crime was involved with the chicken crossing the road, and you're playing as an amnesiac squirrel detective. And it's British. So it's a lot of very dry British humor. The gameplay itself is extremely varied. I only saw a couple bits of it because the demo was very long, so I didn't want to wait in line because there was stuff I wanted to do, like other games at the Rising booth. And also, I think there is a demo available on Steam, so try that out. But like the ones I saw, there was a point and click thing, which had a, you know, looking for items, trying to figure out what they do, and then sort of using them to form clues. There was a cute little section where you had to draw what was going on and then the squirrel's monologue in order to get him to where he needs to be. Literally drawing conclusions, as in drawing them with a mouse and a piece of paper. And then there was like a little just DDR minigame. Better than the DDR minigame I made, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, it's a cute little thing. I would love to check it out in more detail, which is something I probably should put on a list. I probably will have a day where I just go through like Steam demos for games I saw at PAX, which is why I'd like to touch on the next game as well. Or I will in a second, because I've got to take a quick ad break. So we'll be back in a moment and talk about Rogue Eclipse, which is a very cool game, by the way. Okay, we're back. So, let's talk about Rogue Eclipse real quick. What's the best way to put this? Rogue Eclipse is basically Strike Suit Zero again. I guess is the best way to put it. Or... God, what's the game called? Space... Outspace... No. Space... Rockfish. Rockfish Space game. Everspace. That was the one. So, here's the best way to put this. Very arcadey space game. Feels good to play. Feels good to swerve around in space and shoot stuff. Has the cool Itani Circus style missiles where they just kind of shoot out everywhere. Very simplistic. Not a lot of like variation, I feel like, but it does feel very good. It feels fun. And the style is very cool. It's feels, I guess, Indian? Like there's a little bit of Indian, I feel like, design going on in a lot of the background elements. But it just feels good. Like that's really all I can say. It's a good feeling little arcade third-person space game. I compare it to Everspace because I feel like that's the closest analog that exists right now. That or Strike Suit Zero, but Strike Suit Zero, I gotta play that game again. That game feels, this feels a little bit more arcadey than that. There is a little bit of roguelike stuff, I think, After you clear a zone, you do have the ability to get some upgrades when you go into the next zone, but I didn't play through more than a couple levels of that because some media guy was behind me. So I decided to hop off in order to give more people a shot, since the media guy was probably going to take a minute. Funny story, I kept running into that media guy all PAX. Like, all that 4th day. I just kept running into him all over the place. Just like, ran into him here, ran into him at another booth, ran into him like at a 3rd booth, ran into him at this Astroneer thing when I was hanging out there. Like, just all over the place. Just very funny. All right, this game is super cool. So, the basic premise behind this, as the developer told me, is the main character, it's basically a comic book kind of game. The main character, Hank, is basically Batman, except drunk all the time, and has the ability to turn back time. There's the sell. So the way it works is, I don't even want to spoil it too much, but here's the basic gist. Like, if you die, you have the ability to rewind time and redo your things, right? So, like, right at the start, you're getting chased by a dog. If you just get caught by the dog, then you can rewind and go, okay, I can jump over this hedge to get away from the dog faster and close this door to get the dog off my ass faster. That kind of thing, right? Ooh, I don't want to talk about it. But like, the game has a lot of really interesting things it does with the time rewinds that you can do. There's a lot of really cool little bits that are in there. It's actually a puzzle game, but it's wrapped in this like comic book style veneer. There's not a whole lot of like, let's say, quote, gameplay, technically speaking. In the demo, it was a lot of interacting with moving around 2D planes that are disguised as like 3D zones, and just pushing like a button. Like, literally, like, you go find a button, you have to push it. But like, it's so cool. I'm not going to spoil it, but you should absolutely try the demo for this game. Let me open Steam real quick, actually. Let's see. Hank drowning on dry land. There is still a demo. Yes, absolutely try this demo out. Like, I don't think I'm giving it, I would say, apart from something like Guns of Icarus or Skies of Icarus, which is a game I'm just very excited for based on pedigree and history and like what I know the developers can do, Hank Drowning on Dry Land is probably the game I was the most excited for, just as my first experience with it. It's such, yeah, on the Steam page, Hank Drowning on Dry Land, think Batman but always drunk and he can time travel. Sink into Hank's comic book world and escape the Unraveler's trap. Play a dangerous time-bending co-op with your past self. That gives you a little hint as to what the game's big mechanics are. But like, I love the demo for this. The demo for this, I absolutely love. And I definitely think people should play it. I would say it was my game of the show. Can I say that? I think I can say that. I would say it's my game of the show, honestly. Like, it just, there's so much potential in there. It's got such a great aesthetic. It acts on its concept incredibly well. I'm definitely down to play this game when it comes out. My only problem is that it is a puzzle game, or at least seems to be mostly a puzzle game, which means playing through it means that will ruin the experience for other people. But like, I am absolutely all in on this game. I think it is going to be fantastic when it drops. The developer is aware of issues as well. Like, he's not going like, ah, yes, my game is perfect. Like, one of the issues was, one of the sort of final puzzles for the demo was a little obtuse in what exactly to do. So he was giving me help, like telling me like, okay, we got to rewrite that dialogue. This is what he would say if you would trigger this. This is a line of dialogue that you weren't able to make out. So he's aware of some of the issues. So I think he has enough sense of self to know like this is not perfect, or this is not perfect, or this needs to be changed. I feel like he will understand what needs to be fixed, what needs to be changed, when it needs to be fixed or changed. I may be putting too much faith in this guy, but like, I genuinely really hope this game does super well because it is such a cool concept. All right, so moving on, we had Sashimi Slayer, a game that you really can only play at a show right now. So I talked to the developer about this a little bit. Sashimi Slayer was probably the one that a lot of people were drawn to because it's a rhythm game. So you have, music going on, you got little fancy visuals. But also it's a rhythm game you use with a specialized controller. And the specialized controller is a sword with a little thing on it. And you okay. Here's the basic controls. The fish come out of the water, have a little timer, and it's like left or right. You push left of the button to parry the fish, right to parry the fish, whatever. Sometimes, though, they'll show up and they have a knife icon. What the knife icon means is you have to pull out your sword to do like one of those like EI slashes on the fish. And also there's an accelerometer in there, so you have to angle your sword properly in your hands and then draw it in order to do the thing. Very cool concept. Apparently it was a student project that they're spinning out into a full game. And I really hope it does well because it's a super cool concept. They will apparently be releasing the files so you can build your own little sashimi accelerometer controller thing. The only thing you really need to buy besides, the electronics is a martial arts sword, which are fairly cheap actually. But I mentioned to them, and I hope this happens, because the game really only works on PC because you can't get a weirdo controller on Xbox or PlayStation. But I mentioned to them, what would work pretty well is just having two Joy-Cons, sticking them next to each other, and then doing the draw motion when you want to do the thing with the Joy-Con. So, if the game comes to Nintendo Switch, I'm just saying, you're welcome. But yeah, very cool thing. Game you could really only play at the show, though, because, like, the amount of effort that goes into... Okay, the amount of effort going into making the controller, obviously pretty high, but also, on PC, you could just do it with keyboard and mouse. Just, unfortunately, you lose a lot of the effect, which makes it cool, but you could just do, A and D for left and right, and then just mouse for aiming, mouse click to sword. So that's totally feasible. I hope they release it, because there need to be more games that have like these cool little controller gimmicks. But also they should definitely put it on Nintendo Switch. I'm just saying, put it on the Switch. Just put it on Switch. The accelerometer's right there. It is literally what it's made for. There is a mini game in Nintendo Switch there was a mini game in Smooth Moves, WarioWare Smooth Moves, which was draw the sword to do the EI slash. That was on the Wii U. Or the Wii. Like, you could do it. You could do it. Just do it. Do it. Put it on there. All right. Roller Girl. Gonna be perfectly honest, I did not play this game because I was low on time and just kind of cruised through the rest of the Indie Rising booth. Let me take a look at what Roller Girl's thing is on Steam. Roller Girl. Not to be confused with Roller Girls from Beyond. Immerse yourself in this relaxing slice-of-life adventure and explore a small town as a teenage girl on rollerblades. Shuffle through your MP3 player and set the mood for your summer as you run errands for quirky neighbors and get entangled in local drama. Okay. So it really seems like it's yeah, I guess it's just kind of like a little slice of life thing where you just interact with characters and do little mini games. Doesn't seem bad, just seems kind of chill. Might hit a specific vibe for certain people. It doesn't seem to be very hard on the rollerblading apart from, running around. But using the music to change the vibe of the world, I guess, would be an interesting mechanic. Because there's like a video on the Steam page here of like changing to sad music and then it starts raining, for example. That would actually be a really good mechanic if that did something. So hopefully it does something instead of just being, you know, just music playlist. All right, next one. Roller Girl was followed up by Terrible Lizards. So this one seems to be like a B-movie kind of thing. Terrible Lizards. Lizard. Terrible Lizards is a horror parkour game set against the backdrop of an old Route 66 attraction with something dark and sinister lurking below. To escape, you'll need to move fast, navigate challenging terrain, and uncover what Dalton's Dinos is really hiding. You'd better start running. Yeah, the video is showing off a lot of first-person parkour running platforming. They had sort of a B-grade movie set going on there with like the dude in the horrible costume that you can see in the video. I didn't really get a lot of attention on this one because, like I said, I was just passing through, but it seems like it'd be cool. I wonder if it's like a puzzle parkour platformer thing, or if it's just, you know, just the parkour. It might be fun. I don't really know. I don't really know for sure. No demo for this one, unfortunately. All right, Table Tactics. This one I should have taken some time to play, but again, I didn't. This is made by the developer who created Just Crow Things and Rain on Your Parade, and also that Leaf Blower game, which I don't think actually got released. Maybe it did. It's a little tactics game. You just play using like little action figures on a little table with cardboard cutout structures, that kind of thing. It's very cute. I didn't get a chance to try it out, but it looked good. This developer is established, so I think it's going to be pretty decent. It's really all I can say because I didn't try it out for myself. Let's see if it's got a thing. Let's see. Table Tactics. Oh. Table Tactics. Physics-driven tabletop battles. There is a video here of a catapult launching a marble across the table and knocking over a bunch of units. Okay. Knock over figurines by shooting marbles and arrows instead of calculating stats. A turn-based strategy game that's entirely physics-driven with single-player campaign and local multiplayer skirmishes between friends. Okay, that is an interesting sell. Okay. Yeah, I really wish I had tried this out. There's a mage here. Yeah, there's like marble shooting things that fire marbles around. This big rock dude who just smashes an AoE because he's so big. Mage shoots a fireball that sets the things on fire. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's very cool. Oh, God, what is that like? There was a game this is like, an actual board game, which had like a little cannon on it. Board game with marble cannon. It wasn't Crossfire. Marble cannon and castle. Is this? Yeah, it was this. It was this. Weapons and Warriors Castle Combat Set. Weapons and Warriors. This is basically Weapons and Warriors as a video game. Basically, you build a castle, you have your armies laid out, and then like you have catapults that fire marbles at the other side. And that's it. That's all it does. You're firing these little marbles at the other team in order to try and knock them out. There's like targets, like you hit the gate and it knocks everyone off the top off. You can shoot a little flag to knock a bunch of people over. It's a very fun little thing. It's very much like a Mousetrap in that it's just a little fun toy. It's not really a game so much as it is just a toy to play around with. But like, yeah, that's basically what it is. Oh man, I'm super into this now. I'm super down for this. Ooh, yeah. Okay, moving onwards. We have Never's End. I believe this was an RPG. Yeah, Never's End. Never's End is a turn-based tactical RPG where you return from death into the midst of a global cataclysm, possess townfolk and use them as living weapons, wield the force of nature to reshape the battlefield, and lead mankind back from the brink of extinction. Right! They did mention that this was about being a necromancer. I think part of it was like you kill enemies and then you can raise them as like units. Command the elements, possess your party. Only you can survive the Never. Rather than recruiting allies, you must possess them, burning away their self and soul to turn them into living weapons. For each companion you game, another life is lost, doomed to fight at your side until either you succeed or they fall in battle. Fight your way through an open world of rain-soaked jungles, blistering deserts, and freezing tundra as you explore the wreckage of a forgotten golden age. Cleanse corrupted settlements, awaken long-dormant temples, unearth lost technology, and reap the rewards as civilization rebuilds in your wake. The path to your victory is your own. Will you hunt fearsome beasts to upgrade your temples or establish new towns to grow your ranks? Will you trade lives and search for greater power or prove your skill by heading straight for the Never's heart? There are many ways to prepare for the final battle, but every choice has consequences. The longer you take, the more lives you'll require, and the stronger the Never becomes. Interesting. Okay. So, I guess in the front of it, it's basically a turn-based RPG that also has like kinda city building sort of elements. Not really, but kinda. It seems neat. This might be cool. Kind of wish I'd gotten a chance to try this out. All right, next one. Draco and the Seven Scales. Hey, Min Braun, you still there? So this game, very visually striking because it is a Game Boy Color. No, it's not a Game Boy Color game. It's a Game Boy game. Straight up old Game Boy game. It has that color palette. It is just that green and white for the original Game Boy games. Discover the mysteries of the Great Ocean in Draco and the Seven Scales. Explore dungeons, collect items, and fight scallywags on land and on the Seven Seas. So, very Zelda-y, very Game Boy original Zelda-y. Seems neat. It looks like they do put a lot of... Yeah, no, it's very Zelda. Like, I'm looking at the UI here. They literally have the... They literally got the 2-button Zelda thing. But, like, it seems pretty cool. There is a demo. Could try that out. Yeah, seems neat. But yeah, it is very Zelda-y, just with pirate themes. I guess it is technically Game Boy Color because there is more than like one color or two colors, which are green and black and white. But yeah, there's not a whole lot I can say about it right now. It seems neat. It just very Zelda-y, very Zelda-y, but pirates. Which I guess is also technically Zelda because of Wind Waker. All right, and then we've got Blocks for Babies. So, from what I can tell, this is kind of a weird mashup of Doom and Tetris. Basically, there's a... Okay, arcade block stacking with a shotgun. Jump between 2D puzzle action and 3D FPS carnage to clear lines and blast through blocks in this unique hybrid roguelike. Every kill shapes the game board, so pick up a gun and start making some precious childhood memories. Basically, you have Tetris on one hand, just straight up Tetris, and then you can also go into first person mode and shoot enemies in order to clear blocks out and just do that. It seems goofy, but I never got a chance to try it. It seems goofy. It's very goofy though. I don't know how good the like mashup is though, is the thing, because like it's a fun idea, but also, like, does that work? I guess it must work. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to try it out. There's definitely that sinister, ooh, babies are evil vibe going with this, though. And there is a demo. All right, blocks for babies. All right, and here's my Google Glass footage of the Kirby thing. This is the, this is basically the title screen. Or I should say, this is the tutorial screen. They did an interesting thing, actually, where, like, the game was weirdly locked down, where, like, in order to access different part of it, you had to specifically go to, like, the person who was running it had to, like, take the controller, restart the game, and then push specific button combos in order to go into tutorial mode or city trial mode. So it's possible the other modes were in there, but hidden. But all I got to see was city trial, pretty much. This is the tutorial, though. This is just tutorial menu. There's Kirby, there's the character list. So you got Kirby, DDD, Meta Knight, Waddle Dee, or Bandana, Waddle Dee, Waddle Doo, Chef Kawasaki, Knuckle Joe, Gooey, Cappy, that Superman thing, Melkor, and the robot from Robobot. There's probably going to be more characters when the game comes out, but that's all the ones that were here. And I picked Gooey. There's my wing star for Cappy. All right, no, this is the bad picture. Wait. Yeah, that's the bad picture. It didn't have the full thing. Oh, that's not what I wanted to open. Weird. I took a picture of my final wing star because, oh yeah, no, it's coming up. Because it was stacked. I had stats for days. Wait, why isn't it showing up? Oh, it was a video. Here, let me show you. Like, check this out. Look at them stats. I was boosted, and then I air glided until I won. Oh yeah, this video is also a little lengthy. So take a look at this. Ready? Ready? Watch this. The dude next to me on my right was unfortunately in the same match as me. You'll see what happens very shortly. Launch off the jump ramp and fly as far as you can. So, just watch. I guess he was on a compact star? It's going. It's going. I didn't even notice it sped up at this point. There we go. 1,244.85 yards. Let's go, baby. First place. Player 2 got 923, which is pretty good for, no, I guess that was a warp star, but like, the other three had Rex wheelies? Oh man, they weren't going to do anything. I didn't even notice that. It's really funny how many details I'm picking up as I go through on these video replays. All right. So next up, this is just a cute little thing I popped in and picked up, or didn't pick up, but I saw at the sort of vendors that they had. Just they had some glow-in-the-dark lizards from Rain World, and also they had Moon and Pebbles, and the Chieftain, and also they had slug cats over on the side. This is a picture from Beatdown City Survivors. Picture of one of the upgrades. Basically, it's a bone. from Vampire Survivors. You throw it, bounces around. And then this thing is an end table. So let me show you that video real quick. I took this one for someone else because they might like the furniture. But basically, it's a little end table that you just open it up and it has a whole bunch of storage in there that's all modular. So just fun little thing. All right. Next up, the reason I took this picture is because I didn't want to forget this game, which is Aviators. There's also Sacrifier there on the side, but I've already backed that one to Kickstarter, so I didn't want to, like... that one's coming. I'll have that game. Unfortunately, this one does not have a Steam page right now, which is very unfortunate. So I would love to know more about Aviators, because it looked like it was a, it kind of looked Guns of Icarus-y, almost, in how the guy who's playing was using the guns on the side of a ship, or a plane. But I didn't get a chance to get a very good look at what was going on, and the demo may have been locked in. So, couldn't tell for sure what happened there. But it looked neat. Full game title is, I guess, Aviators War in the Skies. Wait, download and play for free. What do you mean download and play for free? What? Aviators War in the Skies. Oh, what? Is this it? January 24. Polish. That does seem correct. Yeah, no, this is it. There's a VR version. Huh. Yeah, no, I guess it is just Aviators. Which is an educational adventure game about Polish air personnel during World War II, which is strange that it has a different name there, but like... Well, it's available for free on Steam. I guess they were just there showing off their educational game, which is interesting. Transform. Finish screen. There we go. All right, this one. Starlight Revolver. I don't remember why I know this game. I heard about this game from something. I don't remember what it is, but it's like a top-down Hades-like thing, which is very colorful, has a lot of sort of magical girl aesthetic. Also, apparently, they're going to make it into like a social game, which is interesting. Right now, it's basically just the Hades thing, but they're apparently going to add a lot of other stuff like lobbies. I think they mentioned Club Penguin at one point. Maybe remembering something else and mixing that up, though. But they definitely mentioned they want to add more like social stuff with a lobby and stuff, so keep an eye on this, I suppose. Seems neat. It is also in early access right now and on discount because it's in early access. Okay, we're getting close to the end of this. Okay, this game. This game is wild. So I want you to take a look at this game. I want you to take a look at the footage I'm going to show. And I want you to guess, before I say it, what this game was made in. Like, what game engine? Was it Unity? Was it Unreal? Was it Game Maker? Was it Godot? Was it C#? Like, what do you think it was made in? Right? Take a guess. Just take a guess. It is called AO Containment Breach. The basic idea behind it is a first-person dungeon crawl thing where you're, like, going into a containment breach zone, trying to clean up the mess, as it were. Yeah, there it is. AO Containment Breach. So you can see there's a lot of first-person stuff. This is like a little computer network thing. And there's a little bit of thing. I think this just links to their Discord. I tried to find any social media they have. They don't seem to have anything, which is very unfortunate. Okay, we'll get to that one in a second. So I'm going to play some video that I took of this game. And again, remember, what game engine do you think this game was made in watching this clip of the game? Ignore how I, like, didn't actually use my weapons properly, because I didn't realize I had to push the button twice. Don't worry about that. It's fine. I'm supposed to push the button twice there in order to fire the gun, but I forgot and didn't realize, or I didn't realize, period. Okay. So I'm going to give you a couple seconds. I'm going to give you 5 seconds. What game engine do you think that was made in? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your guess for what game engine this was made in was RPG Maker, you are correct. This game was made in RPG Maker. This is an RPG Maker game. Yes, actually, this game was made in RPG Maker. I literally showed this to a guy who's working on porting RPG Maker games to console, and his reaction was, "What?" So, that's a fucking RPG Maker game. That exists. Take that knowledge to your grave, knowing that it exists. Make of that what you will. Okay, this thing I get to show off. Where'd I put it? There it is. It's hidden underneath this paper. Why do we even have that paper there? Okay. So what you are looking at right now is SAN Audio. This is Audio Endgame. And what this is this box. And what's in that box is this thing, which is a cool looking like little pendant thingy. And what this is a pair of earbuds. Cool little pendant thing that holds a pair of earbuds. That's basically all it is. Got a little USB thing on the back. It lights up. It's neat. So the basic gist behind these things is that they are spatial audio earbuds. That's right. Spatial audio. Spatial audio. I don't know if that effect came across at all. But basically, they're earbuds that have a dedicated left channel, right channel thing. So you can actually get full surround sound going just by wearing these two things. It works pretty well, honestly. So I will say I did get these for free. I did not get given them, technically. I won, they were doing a little giveaway thing, and I happened to win these while I was there. So I got these for free, but I did not get given them as a show of like good faith for being a cool guy who will give them good press. They were just handed to me via random chance. So these things basically have two benefits. First, they have the spatial audio thing. They fit snugly into your ear and you get like the surround sound audio dealy. Works fairly well. Not as well as like actual real surround sound audio. I think the like rear audio was a little weak and some of the high audio. But like generally speaking, it works shockingly well for what they have. Like it is incredibly good at what it does for what it is. The second thing it does is on the back, you may notice this little USB-C port right there. That's not just for charging. What you can do is you can actually take that USB-C port, plug it into your computer, and it'll use this dock base thing as basically a dedicated antenna that connects up to your computer and does like 10 millisecond latency audio for what they call gaming mode. So if you want like high quality spatial earbuds that have like low latency, this is the stuff to go for. But I will say, as impressive as they are, they do work very well. They have all that tech in them. It's very cool. They are also like $300. Like, let me go look at these things real quick. So SanSound, you want to go to sansound.com. That's where they are. And this is the Sandwear GT gaming earbuds. They are $300. Yeah. Very good, but also very expensive. Would I say that their claim of this being audio endgame is true? Yeah. Because, like, there's not really anywhere else you can go after that point. I do think maybe, like, upgrading it a little bit just to get, like, better bass response or better, like, higher response. I didn't really mess around with that too much. But, like, they sound very good. They have the spatial thing, which is super cool, so you have surround audio, but also, like, $300. So you gotta make your decision. Do you want a super high-end earbud that will do basically everything you want? Or do you want to not spend that much money and just have, like, a pair of $60 earbuds that you just use to listen to podcasts on the train? Which is what I do, pretty much. Honestly, I might keep using them. Partially because it looks like a cool amulet on my chest when I'm wearing it with the lanyard, and also partially because, like, my current earbuds have had weird Bluetooth connection issues, and I don't know what's up with that. But these things don't, because they're connected to that base, and the base is doing all the work, which is a great way to do it, honestly. All right, onwards. Yes, this. So this is the third piece of hardware that was at the show that I saw. The other two being the other console and the VR shoes. The game tank is more in line with what I sort of expected from a home-built console. This is literally a console you can build at home. It is a homebrew device. The guy sells like kits and the flasher and the ROMs and all that stuff, but basically it's all 3D printed. The controller's 3D printed, the console's 3D printed, the cartridge is 3D printed. The games are made on your computer. He's got an emulator so you can actually make the games on your computer without having the console on there. It's a whole thing. But it's very impressive. And like, it's cheap too. It's very cheap to build these things, and it's all homebrew, and it's just like, it's an old style console. And he was just got a full game on there. Like, the game works, it jumps around, you can jump around with it, you can do attacks, it's kind of Metroid-y. This is the game he was making, called, I think it was Europa? I want to say? I don't remember the game's name. But like, it was mostly just there to show off the console. But like, very impressive tech. Basically, like, this is sort of what I hope for when I see something that's like a homebrew open sourced console, because this is open source effectively. It's very cool. Highly recommend looking into it if you're a DIY sort of person with a lot of, or who likes a lot of hardware tinkering, because the guy mentioned that there's like an extension kit on the back that you could plug stuff into. I mentioned using the Flipper Zero with the game controller thing. He said, yeah, no, you could plug that into there too and do stuff with it. Like, tons of options using fairly old, cheap hardware and 3D printed parts. Like, very cool little piece of tit. Highly recommend looking into that. That is the Game Tank 8-bit homebrew hardware. The guy's got a GitHub, so you can look that up. He does not have social media apart from a Mastodon page, as far as I can tell. All right, what else we got? Ah, yes. So this is the last picture I took on the show floor. It's just a big cardboard monster with a free "Take Me Away" sign. And then there's some Google Glass images of me playing AO Containment Breach. And then finally that. Just a big old picture of a troll. And that's Seattle. And also I got this one from a Deltarune dev. All right, so that was it for Seattle. We're back to the start now. But there's one last thing I haven't told you. One last thing I've not done yet. Get in there. Actually, do I even need to put this in here considering I'm going to be using it? Probably not. Okay, this is fine. Let's see, any other swag to show off? Yes, got one last thing. One little quick thingy to show off. A lot of these are just kind of cards and codes I got from booths and devs. Nothing too crazy. For example, I got this thing from the Junk Food Arcades booth when I bought the Swirl. But here's one last thing I did buy, which is something I kind of was happy I picked up and it's kind of found randomly. And it's this. So what this is, there's a company called Foam Brain Games that does a lot of just little trinkets. They sell dice, they sell little D&D trinkets, and this year I noticed that they are officially partnered with Pathfinder. And my favorite class in Pathfinder is the Alchemist, hands down. I love that class. I built so many Alchemists. I just love playing, and they're so much fun. And they just had an Alchemist pin, so he said, you know what? Yeah, might as well. I'm gonna grab one. Why not? I love this class. I've always loved the class, so why not? So yeah, just a fun little thing. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it, but I've got it now. It was $10, so I'm not too torn up about that. Anything else? Let's see. I got pins, badge. Got this little Kirby Air Riders patch for completing the demo. Nothing else really. Oh, yeah, no, that's not really anything. Oh, I got this thing. Little crew card for doing the Astroneer demo. You can see it's got Ayoto on there. I lost the Astroneer badge holder thing that I bought though, so I'm sad about that. Alright, time for the last gimmick I got. What time is it? How long am I going for? I'm going for 2 hours and 44 minutes. You know what? I'll save the gimmick for another day. They can wait. They can wait. So, I guess I'll send the stream over elsewhere. Anyway, that's it, pretty much. That was my journey to PAX. I hope you enjoyed the smuggled out Kirby's Air Ride footage. Let's see, who am I following right now? That's good. Is anyone not playing Silk Song? Let's go here. Alright, I'm gonna send over here, so thanks for stopping by. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, what have you. And I will see you next time, which will probably... You know what? I usually don't stream Mondays. I might stream this Monday and do the quick thing then for the gimmick. Alrighty, bye. Bye-bye when I do the push the button. There we go, doing the thing, going to the place. Bye-bye.